Facebook, and it was a little baffling. Anyway, though, I'm polishing frets. I hope he doesn't mind, but I'm probably going to put Trogley's guitar show on. And I really hope he doesn't hit me with like any kind of like copyright. But I really enjoy his channel. I've been binging his stuff for a while. Alright, so you might hear Trogley's in the background. I'm hoping you don't. It's just so there's no confusion with copyrights or anything.
Ever since I was a young boy.
But I love watching this stuff
There was always
while I'm
that
working on
one
really anything.
that one guitar when someone would ask you if you had to pick just one Les Paul Deluxe, which one would it be? I would always answer with the same one, the blue sparkle of the mid-70s. Fate would have it that I could never get this guitar because they were just all broken, shattered, burnt with cigarettes. It's so hard to find them in their clean original shape. I was starting to believe I would never find one that didn't already have a forever. I still can't believe that there's one of the survivors here on my channel. He got me to the whole world, including me. Alright, let's review this guy. Welcome back, troglodytes, to the Trogley's Guitar Show. The holy grail of Les Paul Deluxe. The Sparkle Top. These were made between late 1974 all the way through about 1977. So first off, the Les Paul Deluxe. What is this? The Deluxe was birthed in 1969. So you had the 50s model, right? All the way up to the Burst, just continuing into the SG. And then when the Les Paul came back, it initially had P9 pickups. Now you could argue that the 68 in that configuration is the birth of the Deluxe. However, that is more like a 56 Gold Pop.
Wow, 35 minutes
But
in.
in 1969, due to Gibson's parent company taking over Epiphone, they put the Epiphone mini humbuckers in there. Yes, that's right. Mini humbuckers originally came from the Epiphone company. But keep in mind that Epiphone was not always just an import brand company for Gibson. Back in the day, Epiphone was considered big competition. If you have not tried a Coronet, you need to, because those things are just fantastic. They're basically a double cut less than Juke. So as far as pricing goes, a 69 Gold Top Deluxe, all original, in excellent condition, is usually the most expensive Deluxe that you can buy. However, the second most expensive, these guys, sometimes they can be the first most.
You know what's weird?
Depending on the color.
I'm watching this Trogly video, but there's no video, just the audio.
Well, initially it was just gold. Eventually they
Some of his videos get fucked up. They'll have fucked up audio or something. So I don't know.
Walnut, straight cherry. And then there's the sparkle finishes. There's red, blue, and very rare gold and supposedly green. The gold ones, there's supposed to be like one or two of them out there. And that's like the holy grail of all the Deluxe right there. There's only numerous of this. But one did show up for sale last year. I mean, it's just so beautiful. But the thing is, those cups are kind of sparkly anyway. So somebody might own a sparkle top gold Deluxe and not even know it. And then, according to a toy boy who is the reputable European dealer of vintage and rare guitars, he has seen 3 green sparkle top Deluxes. Now, if that just came from some random Joe Schmo on the internet, I would say no, probably not. That was likely a blue one that had super aged, the clear coat turned yellow, and then turned green over top of the blue finish. But since it comes from a reputable resource, I'm going to believe that there are a few green ones out there, and I would love to see a picture if anyone has one.
Alright, hold on a second.
In that search.
Because there's no video to this
is Rocket
video.
Red Sparkle and Basalt Blue Sparkle from the Nam.
There we
So
go.
what finishes were available on the Deluxe when they were introduced? Well,
Sorry, but if I'm going to watch a
initially,
Trogly video, I'm going to
eventually
watch a
they
Trogly
included
video.
Sunburst, got the rolling line red, as well as the tobacco sunburst, as well as the uncommon walnut and straight cherry. And then there's the sparkle finishes. There's red, blue, and very rare gold and supposedly green. The gold ones, there's supposed to be like 1 or 2 of them out there. And that's like the holy grail of all Deluxe right there. They were only limited to this. But one did show up for sale last year. I mean, it's just so beautiful. But the thing is, those tops are kind of sparkly anyways.
I had a Les Paul for a short time.
And not even know it. And then,
I kind of squandered the experience. The reason I bought it is because it had a Roland GR1. It came with a Roland GR1 guitar synthesizer. It had the pickup built on. According to a friend of mine who's an amazing guitarist, there was too much lag, but I didn't
But
care.
the 2 most common colors for sparkle tops is Rocket Red Sparkle and Basalt Blue Sparkle. 75 chicken leather shows 125 pounds of red, 1 lefty, and according to some book sources, there were approximately 200 years of sparkle blue between 75 and 77. for many people, a Les Paul Deluxe doesn't work for them. They don't like the mini humbuckers for whatever reason. Sometimes it's the look, sometimes it's the sound. And the only Les Paul Deluxe I ever climbed after owning was this one, the Blue Sparkle. This has been the guitar of my dreams, and it has been a really, really difficult time finding one of these. Because let's do a little bit of math here. We have a beautiful glam rock sparkle finish from the 70s, which is crazy. That led to a lot of these being used. And what happens when you got a guy going, woohoo, yay, on stage a lot? Your headstock breaks. Nearly every single example you will ever find on the market has a headstock repair. I finally
No
found
shit.
one that hasn't had its headstock snapped on. Why do they all break? Well, I finally know now that I've had this in my hands. These necks are super pencil thin at the headstock area. It's no wonder they all snapped. One good ding and it's just going to go flying off. I mean, this example has some finish checking by the headstock, but no actual cracks.
That's interesting
breaks.
because I like
But
fat
as the neck
necks.
goes up, it gets a little bit chunkier, so it really is quite an interesting and nice profile.
Can't
The
do
next
this with my
problem
left
you'll
hand.
see with these Sparkle Top Deluxes is, once again, mini humbuckers. People don't like them.
I'm
So
using
they
a
round them
comically
for
large,
full-size humbuckers,
wine
and then you
glass.
don't have a Sparkle Top Deluxe anymore. Then there's the infamous Kaler wrap.
I live with my
So
sister.
that just ruins it. And then there was one that just sat on reverb.
And I don't like to
forever.
think of her as a
It had, like, a
stereotypical woman.
burn
She's not in any
right here on
means.
the Sparkle Top, and that just ruined that example for me.
But she doesn't
And
like
then there's
beer.
the
She's a
people
wine
who think
drinker.
these guitars would be like,
And
"Ugh,
she has 3
Sparkle
glasses
Top.
of wine
I want
glasses.
70s brand."
One of them is,
And there was
typical
a
wine
finish
glass.
there.
Another one is
There
a
was
tall
one that was
wine
recent.
glass.
I saw it get listed online.
And there's this
I saw
freaky
that
thing
had
that'll take a 7
that dealer
750
didn't buy the
milliliter,
Deluxe. I don't think they knew it was refinished.
bottle of
When
wine.
they pulled the pickups, it blew their mind.
Or
The Sparkle blew
half
was
of one of
still there,
these.
so they had it refinished.
So
I'm
yeah.
not really interested in a refinished example, but I was so happy when I saw this one show up, and I knew
I love
I
Friday
had to
nights.
find it. The documentation, and
forgot which one I
because
was working
whenever
on.
somebody would ask me, what is the one guitar
This
that
is a
you
fairly
want
new guitar.
that you have never owned?
Oh,
And the
shit,
number one
that's
answer
hard.
was always the Blue Sparkle Deluxe. So what's my new answer for that? Well, I have like a list of guitars that I think are the quintessential collection guitars that any hardcore collector should fill. Those are guitars like the 2550, Artisan, Artist, Heritage 80, Sparkle Top Deluxe, Spotlight
Put these
Special,
on.
Brazilian Rosewood Top Custom, prehistoric reissues like the Dealer's Legos.
I'm gonna stop doing these kind
The
of
76 limited
videos
edition Explorer, the Medallion Flying
after the
V,
24th.
the Les Paul, and the Super Custom Super Standards. And I won them all. Well, except for the Medallion V anyways. But my new answer for that question of what will I want is a white Les Paul Artisan. If I remember correctly, there were 10 made, and they have black binding. I would love to document that extremely rare finish. But I would also like to track down the other 3 Sparkle Top Deluxes as well. These things in repaired condition usually still sell between like 3,000 and 4,000. So when the rare example does show up that is all original and doesn't have a headstock repair, it's in great shape, asking prices for them will near $10,000. Now, they don't normally sell that high, but these are still very expensive guitars, usually selling between the 5 to 8 range, depending on the specs and condition. Now, if you can't afford an original that's not been repaired, and you don't want to rock a headstock repaired one, there have been various reissues. Sometimes it's just a special one from a custom shop for like building the R7 and R8 specs. But something that was really cool, Michael Doyle, the vice president of Guitar Center, actually recently worked with Gibson to do
I'm wondering why the Trigan isn't more successful, or why isn't more popular. Gorgeous fucking guitar.
So he looked through the classified. He was never
That's the
into
guitar I'm working on now, Prejudice.
He saw one that was advertised as Rocket Red Star.
And the funny thing
He
is,
thought that was a rocket guitar. So before he even saw that thing, he sold
back in
his
the
car,
80s, when I was a
hopped on
kid,
train,
or young adult, I was never an adult. Alright, so back in the 80s when I was a
He'll
kid,
admit, over the years,
Japanese guitars were kind of laughed at. I had a BC Rich NJ series, which people made fun of as like NJ, no job, which was pretty much true. Um, but it was a great guitar. I gave it to my nephew, and it's still around from what I understand. So,
now, he doesn't call it
a friend of
reissue
mine,
because he changed a bunch of
who I
specs.
consider to be quite astute when it comes
Probably
to
because that's easier to market.
manufacturing and whatnot,
So the tribute
he
has
calls
the
Korea the
225.
next
It has a
Japan,
center seat.
because he pointed
Whereas
out
the
to me
originals will usually have a pancake body,
that the
mahogany sandwich
Japanese
body,
manufacturer
but
was
it
actually considerably better than
he gave the tributes a dish
the
guard,
lauded
whereas
German
the original ones
manufacturer.
were flat.
And he showed me this. I forgot what kind of camera it was. I don't know if it was Nikon, but whereas the German camera, which was the Zeiss Icon, had this complicated linkage made of chains to accomplish a task. I forgot what it was. The Japanese had a simple string, just a piece of string. And he remarked at the simplicity. But the thing is, though, is that the Japanese company Seiko bested the what do you call it? All the Swiss chronographs. And what I'm talking about are companies like Rolex and Tag Heuer and Omega. And it happened to such a degree that the Swiss authorities, who oversaw these competitions, ceased to present them because the Japanese showed them up. So my friend calls the Koreans the next Japanese, and it seems kind of reasonable. And it's one.
Alright.
Sometimes I
Inside
wonder
the
if
Sparkle Top Deluxe, you can see you have the original
if
mini
there's-
humbuckers. They have
whoops.
patent number 1.
some chance that China might become the next Korea, meaning, and then not North Korea, but South Korea, but meaning that China might democratize at some point. I really kind of wish they would, because Chinese culture Chinese philosophy is part of Chinese culture, so I'll look at it in that light. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of like wasted right now. So, but there's something really sweet to it that I like a great deal, at least as it was presented to me by a friend. I like to think that would overwhelm that whole anti-West, communist, decidedly communist to be anti-West. But I'll tell you, I'm not afraid to look at anti-West sentiment and look at what anti-West sentiment draws from the same pool as anti-East sentiment. These hierarchies, these governments, these power structures take advantage of people from third world nations that fall into the sphere of the opposing side and become fair game. And that's, just shitty. You know? I think that's why I love music, because it conveys these things without words. But anyway, I gotta take a leak. Trogly's still on, and I got more wine to drink and more weed to smoke, so and more frets to polish. But I gotta take a leak, so these gotta come off. Right. Yeah. Oh, Trogly's playing the Blue Sparkle Les Paul. I had a Les Paul for a little while. I don't deserve a Les Paul. Honestly, I do well with like a BC Rich or the Strigan here, Yamahas, shit like that. I do fine with them. I don't need Les Pauls or vintage Stratocasters or Telecasters and whatnot. I mean, the people like Joe Bonamassa. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. But Joe Bonamassa, he is just so fucking amazing. Who's the other guy? Plus the Dover, that guy, Eric Johnson. So fucking clean. And people rip on Joe Satriani, and he is so clean and so fluent. And I love that Steve Vai loves him. I love that Steve Vai is like so friendly towards him. All the haters can go fuck themselves. Because Joe Satriani, I mean, I don't really know his work, but from what I've seen, the fucking guy's amazing. I'm gonna start down here again, because when I set out polishing these frets, I started from the oldest guitar, which is the Washburn here, and then I did the bass, and which was the second oldest guitar, and the Trigan is the third oldest guitar, and then this guy here. But I should have done it backwards, because now I'm like too fucked up to spot like what frets I did and which ones I didn't. So that's like my own fault. Yeah, that's what I get for having like this enormous wine glass. I mean, it's Friday. Friday is usually beer day, but I made it wine day today. And I haven't had wine in a long time. And it's a different buzz from beer. Like beer right now, where the fuck is the polish? If I was drinking beer right now, I would probably not be polishing guitars. Polishing frets at least. Oh, it's fucking in my head. I was holding this in my fucking hand. Yeah. Yay. But yeah, after the 24th of June, I'm going to stop streaming stuff like this on here. I'm going to start streaming it on Patreon. So that way, if you want to see my bullshit, like this kind of shit, you know where to go. And it's going to be free. There's going to be an option if you want to like donate, you can, but you don't have to. But the thing is, like this channel is going to go back to like animals and music. So if I have something that's strictly music, and most of my music has to do with animals, and I know I'm whistling my S's now, so you know I'm fucked up. But yeah, this kind of shit is going to go on Patreon, because I don't think people who signed up for the animal content should have to deal with this bullshit. Oh fuck, I'm gonna put charging on it. Fuck it. Yeah, I'm gonna rewind it. I don't rewind to fucking again.
Ever since I was a there was always that one guitar. Alright, let's review this now. Welcome back, troglodytes, to the Trogly's Guitar Show. The holy grail of Les Paul Deluxe. The Sparkle Top. These were made between late 1974 all the way through about 1977. So first off, the Les Paul Deluxe. What is this? The Deluxe was birthed in 1969. So you had the 50s models, right? All the way up to the burst, discontinuing into the SG. And then when the Les Paul came back, it initially had P90 pickups. Now you could argue that the 68 and that configuration is the birth of the Deluxe. However, that's more like a 56 gold top in my eyes. But in 1969, due to Gibson's parent company taking over Epiphone, they put the Epiphone mini humbuckers in here. Yes, that's right, mini humbuckers originally came from the Epiphone company. But keep in mind that Epiphone was not always just an import brand company for Gibson. Back in the day, Epiphone was considered big competition. If you have not tried a Coronet, you need to, because those things are just fantastic. They're basically a double cut Les Paul Jr. So as far as pricing goes, a 69 gold top deluxe, all original, in excellent condition, is usually the most expensive deluxe that you could buy. However, the second most expensive, these guys. Sometimes they can be the first most expensive too, depending on your color, condition, and whatnot. So what finishes were available on the deluxe when they were introduced? Well, initially it was just gold. Eventually, they threw in the cherry sunburst, got natural and wine red, as well as a tobacco sunburst, as well as the uncommon walnut and straight cherry finish. And then there was the sparkle finishes. There's red, blue, and very rare gold and supposedly green. The gold ones, there's supposed to be like one or two of them out there. And that's like the holy grail of all deluxe right there. They were only rumored to exist. But one did show up for sale last year. And it was just so beautiful. But the thing is, gold tops are kind of sparkly anyways. So somebody might own a Sparkle Top Gold Deluxe and not even know it. And then, according to a toy boy who is a reputable
See, this is why I would love to strip,
he has seen
totally strip a fucking Les Paul
Sparkle Top Deluxe.
and finish it to my
Now,
own
let's get
standards.
Some random Joe Schmo on the internet. I would say no, probably not. That was likely a blue one that had super aged, the clear coat turned yellow, and then turned green over the top of the finish. But since it comes from a reputable resource, I'm gonna believe that there are a few green ones out there, and I would love to see a picture if anyone has one, because I was unsuccessful in that search.
I love
But
Trousy
your two
though.
most
I love that
common
he
colors for
loves
sparkle tops
these
is
Les
rocket
Pauls so
red
much,
sparkle
but
and basalt blue sparkle. 75
there's so
shipping
many-
ledger
so
shows
many
100
guitars out
parts with
there.
5 done in
And
red with 1
I
lefty.
cut my
And
teeth
according to
on
some
an
book
NJ
sources,
series
there were
BC
approximately
Rich.
231 sparkle blues made
And it
from
taught me a lot of
75 to
things.
77. So for many people, a Les Paul Deluxe doesn't do it for them. They don't like the
So,
humbuckers for
The
whatever reason.
mid-range
Sometimes it's the look, sometimes it's the sound.
$300
And
to
the
$800
only Les Paul
guitars
Deluxe I've ever
to
timed
me
after
are the
building
most profound
was this
instruments
one, the Blue Sparkle.
because they represent
This
the
has
blue
been
collar
guitar of my dreams, and it has
working
been
class.
a really,
And
really
that's-
difficult time finding.
You know, a lot of
these.
people might
because let's do a little
look
bit
at that
of
as a
math.
stereotype,
We have
but that's
a
where Rush
beautiful
comes
glam
from.
rock sparkle finish from
It's not
the
where
70s.
Yes comes from, but that's
Crazy.
what.
That
Actually,
led
yeah,
to
John
a
Anderson.
lot of these being
No,
used.
John Anderson. Well,
And what happens
yeah.
when you got a guy going, woohoo, yay, on stage a
to
lot?
myself,
The headstock breaks. Nearly every single example you will ever find on the
I don't know
market
about
has a
this.
headstock repair. I finally found one that hasn't had its headstock snapped on. Why do they all break? Well, I finally know now that I have this in my hands. These necks are super pencil thin at the headstock area. It's no wonder they all snapped. One good ding.
You know what I love
and
about
they're
Rush?
flying off. In this
When they made
example,
their
has some
money,
finish checking by the headstock,
they
but no
invested in
actual
equipment.
breaks. But
They
as the
invested
neck
in
goes
better
up, it
guitars,
gets a
better
little chunky,
amplifiers,
so it really
and a
is
lot of
helping
them
to
did.
keep a nice profile. The next problem you'll see with
I
these
imagine
Top Deluxes is
one of the
yeah,
first
once
things
again,
Jimmy
mini
Page
humbuckers.
did
People don't like them, so they
when
round them
he,
for full-size humbuckers, and then you
when
don't
he
have a Sparkle
graduated
Top
from the
Deluxe anymore.
Yardbirds. Actually,
Then
when he
there's the
graduated
infamous
into the
Kaler
Yardbirds,
route. So
was
that
to,
just ruins it.
buy
And then there was one
new
that just sat
equipment.
on Reverb and eBay forever. It had like a burn mark
And
right
I love
here
that.
on the Sparkle Top, and that just ruined that example for me. And then there's the people who would get these guitars and be like, ugh, Sparkle Top, I want 70s brown. And they would refinish them. There was one of those recently. I saw it get listed online, and then I saw
I love
it at
Charlie.
the Ohio
I
Guitar
really
Show.
do.
That dealer, they were just buying the Les Paul Deluxe. I don't think they knew it was refinished, but when they pulled the pickups, it blew their mind that the Sparkle Blue was still in there, so they had it refinished.
I love watching
I'm
this
not really
black
interested
ring
in a refinished
expand and
but I
contract. Well,
was
it doesn't
so
contract, but
happy
it
when I saw this
expands.
show up, and I knew I could just buy it. The documentation, and because whenever somebody would ask me, what is the one guitar that you want that you have never owned? And the number one answer was always the Blue Sparkle Deluxe. So what's my new answer for that? I have like a list of guitars that I think are the quintessential collection guitars that any hardcore collector should fulfill. Those are guitars like the 2550, Artisan, Artist, Heritage 80, Sparkle Top Deluxe, Spotlight Special, Brazilian Rosewood Top Custom, previous store reissues like the Dealer's Leos and Guitar Trader, the 76 Limited Edition Explorer, the Medallion Flying V Les Paul, and the Super Custom Super Standards. And I've owned them all. Well, except for the Medallion V anyways.
You see,
But
that's
my new answer for that question of what one I
gotta
want
turn them down a
is
little
a
bit.
white Les Paul Artisan. If I remember correctly, there were
All right.
10 made
I want all my guitars in white, but
I would
that's
love to document
different.
that.
Um,
Extremely rare finish. But But I would also like to track down the other three Sparkle Top Deluxe.
BC Rich Mockingbird
These things in repair
is a guitar
condition
that, like,
usually still sell
always,
for $4,000. So
always
if a
attracted me.
rare example
Um,
does show up that is all original and doesn't have a headstock and is in great shape. Asking
I love the
prices looking
Telecaster.
near
Telecaster, that's the Jimmy Page
Now,
first
they don't
3
usually
albums
sell
guitar.
that high, but these are still
And
very expensive guitars, usually selling between 5 to 8.
to me,
depending on
it's
specs
the
and condition.
utilitarian
Now,
guitar.
if you can't afford
It's the
an
guy
original that's
who
not been
is
repaired,
like, all right, I gotta
and
come up with shit
headstock
really
available,
quick.
there have been various reissues. Sometimes it's just a special one from a collection shop for
And that's where the Telecaster comes in.
specs. But something that was really cool, Mike Doyle, the vice president of guitar shipping, actually recently located some of these things reissued. Basically, this was his first big guitar. He had a great Marshall amp, but a cheap less import copy. So what he was classified, he was never really impressed with anything else. So he saw one that was advertised as Rocket Red Sparkle, and he thought that was the Rocket Red Sparkle. So before he even saw that thing, he sold his car, hopped on a train, and went to go check out that Rocket Red Sparkle. Now, he'll admit, over the years, he's made some crazy changes to how including having the wood for some bucket and oils and then he gives to some guy in shape well, he regrets all of that, but he's still not so efficient working issue is somewhat obscure model. Now, he doesn't call it a reissue because he changed a bunch of specs to make it more 50s, probably because that's easier to market as a company. So the Tribute has a two-piece body. It has a center seat, whereas the originals will usually have a sandwich body, sandwich body, but it could be the he gave the Tribute a fish card, whereas the original one was flat. He opted for a one-piece neck, whereas the original was he changed the headstock angle from the normal air 14-degree pitch to 17-degree. He has them take off the volute so the robots have that typical pump right here. And lastly, it does have a Guitar Center Edition 75. I was surprised to find those on the beach at the 75. And they still have some of those. I would have figured for sure that it was about fine. So, speaking of specs and spec changes, that's kind of moving the transition the earlier one through the day whereas the later made ones so that also means the early ones will have the ABR1 bridge, and the late ones will have the Nashville style. The later ones will have a one-piece body without the pancake construction, but those ones will also then have the less desirable maple neck. The highest priced and most sought-after versions are the Kalamazoo-made versions with the mahogany neck and ABR1 bridge. So if you're a die-hard collector, that makes collecting these fun. Because you can go, oh, I've got my 3-piece mahogany blue sparkle top and the maple neck version. So now that I've rambled on about this guitar, because I've wanted one of these for so long, let's go ahead and throw it on the bench and take a look at its nuts.
Alright, inside the Blue Sparkle Top Deluxe, you can see you have the original mini humbuckers. They have the patent number water slide decal on them. You can see it's a transitional pennant and the mini humbucker base plate. Essentially that just screws into the guitar. And then these little screws act as both your securing mount as well as adjusts the height of the pickup. That's true in bridge pickup company as well. No fancy markings or anything, but that's how you know it's the original blue finish.
You can see the slight groove on the edge of the out there. And here's your bridge pickup.
The original Gibson ABR1 bridge is inside the case, but you can see it's collapsed a little bit, so it has been replaced. And this looks like a modern day example, so not a huge deal. You can put the original one on if you want, but we'll leave this on for everything good. The tailpiece is also a modern day replacement. You can see that line goes all the way down, and that's not what one from this period of time would look like. Underneath the pick guard, you can see we have a slight green simply because of the and that's very common. It still plays really well with low action. It's a little fret fuzzy simply because the nut is worn. If you put a new nut on there, that'll raise the action a bit. Then you'll be able to lower the voltage. So if you like those low fretless wonder type, it's obviously these are a lot lighter than those, but it's definitely kind of jazzy. The tuners have also been replaced. That's kind of a huge deal for me.
Now,
The original double
something I'm really,
such
really,
a
really
beautiful look. So I went ahead and sourced
like eager to try out
I'm going to
is a
include
DIY.
Now that I got those replacement tuners on, you can see there's been
Guitar
at
kit?
least 3 tuners on here.
And there's
Original
one,
Gibson set, and then the
well,
imprint
several
tuners
actually,
from the Grover, and then somebody put this type
that,
of set on. And if you're wondering what all this brown staining is, it just happens to be a set.
really strongly resemble the Gibson 175,
We kind of talked about this
the Steve Howe model.
Unfortunately,
Well, the model Steve Howe was well made, so famous. It's a fat body, hollow body.
You can see somebody put solid and inside the back of the cabin there's untouched, unmolested. What's cool is you have 274 little spots, this one's 75. This one I could not really do, so that likely means this one is and we have a maple top with a sandwich mahogany maple mahogany body with a rosewood fretboard.
Now that we know about everything
See, I'm buzzed at the point right now where I have no idea if I did this for her. probably get kicked in the balls for saying this, but I would love to hear Tim Henson and Scotty LePage elaborate on Tony Iommi or Jimmy Page or Alex Lifeson or Steve Carell. I think that would be fucking wonderful, taking those old standards that we know so much. Because I was in a band, we used to take Duke Ellington songs and fuck around with them. And it was fun. And the people who listened to us had fun. And I would love to hear that go on nowadays. But there's copyrights and shit. And everybody's got, you know. I don't think that's Charlie. Paris.
Looks like it shrunk a little bit on the treble side. I'm gonna tell you, I think this nut might need to be replaced. It's worn down a little bit too low over the years, which is great because it gives you super low action, but it's too low of action. It gives you a little bit of fret buzz. And despite this acoustic fret buzz, once I plugged it in and started playing it, I really did not notice it amplified. And even though this thing has really flat, tiny frets, I really enjoy playing this guitar. Now, people call these things fretless wonders all the time. That's not true. Fretless wonders refers to the Les Paul Customs of the 50s. They have a low and narrow fret, whereas the 70s ones are low but wide. difference. These are not fretless wonders. If you're used to modern fret wire that's fairly tall, you might not enjoy playing this one as bends will smooth and make it more difficult. However, I personally prefer these lower frets, but it's just something that you used to at this point with the guitars that I'm interested in. Something else to mention, along with that nut, the bridge is pretty high at the bottom there, and that's because the action has to be raised in order for it not to completely fall down. So I really think replacing the nut is smart if you play as super playing this thing. Otherwise, from a collector's standpoint, leave it be, don't touch this thing. It's valuable when it's original. Face of the guitar, you've got some nicks and dings pretty much all over the top. That sparkle blue finish does a good job of hiding it. And it's nothing that I feel really detracts from the beauty of the guitar, but it does show that it has been played. You have your original reflector knobs, they're nice and golden, so they're going to look great under black light. Back of the headstock, serial number 520090, made in USA. Again, we have that weird discoloration by the tuners that looks fine on the early 70s guitars. We had talked about this on an SG before. We thought it was finish. So we have an original style here. Ones. And no headstock fingers. But if you give me the light just right, there are finished checking lines. That might fool you thinking maybe, but no. There's no actual crash here. That is strictly 1,000%. The neck, it's a little bit chewed up. Somebody had that slide or something on it. Will it all play? No. Sorry for the player consideration. That pretty much tells you that this was a slide that happens. They're trying to have a reason. And that's what those beams are. That's kind of hard to finish a little bit from color. I'm pretty confident that's exactly how it is. Back of the guitar, it's got buffers on and unfortunately the first when it comes to sparkle types of custom, even as a picture collector as I think this is good like that because you just don't find these in third shape ever. But this one is definitely well played and likely well loved. Now we'll take a look around the edges here. There are no separations or split to the pancake body, which is some people always look for. There, it has showers on it currently. Under black light up. That's something you gotta watch out for too. These things are really good to try to feel. It's worth it. Plastics are the way I want to see. Again, got those little tiny finish check lines in kind of an inopportune place, but luckily they're just located in one small area, not like going all the way across or up and down with strange patterns. And the back of the headstock's looking good.
I love Charlie. I really do.
Everything is just perfect on this thing. I mean, besides the slight fret buzz, I mean, this thing
I watched two of his videos before that concentrated on guild guitars. which is a company I'm kind of interested in.
Gibson hard shell
My
case.
resources are
Really
kind of
Gen
low,
3 chainsaw case with
but
brown interior.
like
Despite that being a nice and protected case, that's 100%
that's
not
my
correct
problem.
for this guitar.
So
I
I'm
gave it
kind
one
of
that's
like
80% correct.
torn between Gretsch and
It
Guild,
was a 1977 Les Paul custom.
and then there's
Factory.
Yamaha,
This was its original case, so I
which
think it's
is
off of
a
Ruben
company
Black,
that
where I
I've
sold that
gone
custom.
to
Because I
for an
thought this
acoustic
case,
and
it matches
and
the
uh,
condition
a
of the
bass
guitar.
guitar.
Like it would have been used. I mean, I'm sure
And,
after I sold this guitar, it would probably be advertised as original. at the
They
time.
present
You can
a
see the
lot
toe
of
lights
good
have been
options.
worn. Your top
So I
three
don't know what
latches
I'm
are
gonna do.
present and functioning. However, the back
Really,
of
what
this
I should do is
missing.
learn how to do
You can
brakes
see the back
on
of
my
the
car.
case is also pretty road worn. I just thought that was like a perfect fit for this guitar. It almost matches it perfectly. And then instead of brown, we have a red interior. And that really
I'm
helps
kind of
pop.
torn on what I want to do
We've
with
got
this
some heel
channel.
support here. See the neck rest, which is the reason why I don't like these cases.
Part of me
But
says
everything
that
else definitely fits well. Here's the guitar.
people don't want to hear what I have to say, and they don't want to hear my
Inside the case
bullshit.
compartment here, your seat shows
And another
the
part of me
style
says,
continues.
of course I want to hear your bullshit. They love ridiculous people.
Gibson guitar string advertisement here. The face key and the Gibson warranty. However, it
And I'm
is
not
not
implying that
So,
Probably is a
one of the
ridiculous
right
person.
spots to select,
He's a chronicler of
I think that's just something to
of really what he considers the most wonderful guitars that are available. And he's open to new guitars. He did 2 videos so far that I know of on Guild guitars. And Guild's been around for a while. They're not a company to be ignored. But they're not Gibson or they're not Fender. And even Yamaha, I'm sure, has a bigger market share than
And we will
Guild's.
see you on the next episode. Take care.
I'm so wasted. But I'm not doing like precision work. I'm not doing the setups on these guitars. I'll do that when I'm in a better head. And that's, honestly, walking in a straight line isn't a good indication of sobriety. Because I can draw a straight line. I know I can. And I could probably walk a straight line, blast it off my face. Which I pretty much am right now. I think I did like an hour on Facebook. When I was a kid, I was like considered the most ridiculous human being on earth. And rightfully so. I mean, I was a ridiculous human being. But I was very passionate about some things. Not everything. And I didn't really understand where I stood. And I did a lot of regrettable things. And one of the things I most regrettable. One of the things I regret the most was that when I was a teenager, I was very sexually aggressive. And I think a lot of that had to do with some abuse that I suffered when I was a kid. And there's people who I know or know via other people who was still smarting from some of the things I did when I was a kid. And they don't know that I was kind of going through shit myself. And I really don't know how to express that to them. So I don't. And that's one of the reasons why AI I understand the doom and gloom, and it's very, 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 very appropriate. But at the same time, if it can correct some things from the past, that would be wonderful. I don't know. We'll see. I think Sam Altman is full of shit. And I think Elon Musk is full of shit. And I think Richard Branson is full of shit. And I think Bill Gates is full of shit. And I think the ghost of Steve Jobs is full of shit. From what I understand, he's still kicking around. So I really don't give a fuck. And I think I'm done with this guitar. I think I'm where I left off on the way in. Because this fret looks as polished as that one. So I'm going to write it off for tonight. And I'm going to unfold my bed. I'm going to finish that bottle of wine. Probably going to watch a movie on Netflix. Not Netflix, Amazon. Maybe I'll go in the living room. I'll cuddle up with my sister's dog. This beautiful little terrier. Actually, I'm going to get his little ass out of here right now. Now, actually, I think I'm going to do that after I sign off on here. But I am going to take the tree and stick it back on its stand. Oh, before something. Oh, shit. I have to remember to recondition the fretboard. Anyway. Oh, shit, I have 4 viewers? Holy shit. That's like 4 more than I'm used to. Alright, I'm going to bring Henry in. Henry is my sister's dog. Wow. Alright, fuck it. I can't bring Henry into the room because he sleeps in my sister's room. He's my sister's dog. He's awesome. Little terrier mix, and yeah. So shit. I guess I'm saying goodnight. Many blessings and many thanks. I'll be back Monday with the second to last of my fitness updates. I don't know what the hell this is. The fitness, it's been going fairly well. Like I've been under 160 pounds all along. It poked up a little above that in March. But now in June, I'm doing all right. I started off at 225 pounds. I'm trying to get to 125 so I can do the whole like 100-pound weight loss bullshit. But the thing is, I'm now at like 157, 158. I feel kind of satisfied. On the other hand, 125 would be fucking awesome. Anyway, many blessings and many thanks. I'll be back Monday, and I hope to see you then. Until then, take care and best wishes to you and all you love. Good health, good fortune, and lasting happiness. And nighty night.